Hello friends, so in the previous episode we added Avo into a new Ruby on Rails application and used it with the Rails 8 authentication generator. And now we are going to try adding Avo to an existing, so not just to a new, but to an existing Ruby on Rails application. And we are going to use Moneygun, my Ruby on Rails multi-tenancy boilerplate, as an example application. Don't forget to put a star. Okay, so here I have Moneygun running and I have three main models in the application. I have the user model, the user can log in, the user can browse his organizations, he can create an organization, and he can be a member in multiple organizations. So three models, user, organization, and membership. We see that in this organization there are two users, one is an admin and one is a member. And I want to add Avo as an admin backend. So we're going to use Avo to be able to see all the users, all the organizations, all the memberships, and do some moderation, like change a member in another organization from admin to member, add new organizations from the admin, add users to organizations, so anything as super admin would want to do. Okay, let's start with going to the Avo homepage, avohq.io, and here I have this app template. I'm going to run it in my repository. What is it doing? So it added Avo to the gem file. It added Avo to the roots. So here I have this root Avo configuration root path, and the Avo initializer has a lot of defaults, and it says that the root path by default is Avo. So if I navigate to /Avo, I should be able to see the Avo dashboard. And it also tried creating a resource for users. So a resource is the way to see a list of users with Avo. It's like an Avo scaffold, where we have all the fields of the user defined based on the database schema. And these are based on the associations in the user model. So a user has many memberships, has many organizations through memberships. This is based on the user model. Okay, let's try run our application. Now I need to restart because I added a new engine and I added a new initializer. And let's open our app and go to /Avo. Okay, so here I have Avo kind of running. We have the default homepage, and let's try going to users. And it says polymorphic associations do not support computing the class. Okay, so if we go to our newly created user resource, this one, here we have all these invitation fields, and we have this invited by type and invited by ID. I will just comment them out for now. We don't need it. Okay, so here we have users. We can see the list of users. We can try to create a new user. We can open a user. We can delete a user, edit a user. Okay, now I open a user and I have this error. Membership field not found. Because for our membership model, we also need a resource. So it prompts us to run Rails generate our resource membership. I can copy this command and run it in my console, or I can actually have a look how to generate all the resources for all our models for Avo. So if I type Rails generate help, here I have all the prompts, and I also have the prompts for Avo. So Rails generate Avo, all resources. Let's try this command, Rails generate Avo, all resources. No, I don't need to override user. Okay. And here I have the other resources generated for inbox, membership, membership invitation, organization, transfer, user. Okay, now a couple of them are empty because they are not backed by the database. I just don't need them. I can remove them. I also don't really need the resource for inbox. I will remove it for now. And here I have three resources, user, organization, and membership, and three controllers. We are not going to need these other controllers now, but in theory you could override some behaviors here if you wanted. Okay, let's save our changes. Add Avo, generate resources. Okay, now let's refresh our page. And yeah, it works. So we have our memberships, organizations, and users. We can navigate to a user's page. We see all his attributes. We see all his memberships and organizations. We see that this user is a member of this organization. He is his role is a member, and he doesn't own the organization. He's just a member. Let's go to the organization. We see we have two members. Okay, undefined inboxes fields. Yeah, it was added by the scaffold. We don't need it, so let's go to our newly created folder app, avo, yeah, app, avo resources, organization. I'm going to remove these inboxes. I need to go back because it is looking for the inboxes in the URL. Okay, so the organization has memberships, users. Let's go to the other user. We see that he is an admin of an organization and he owns one organization. So the organization table has his user ID as the owner. Okay, so we can navigate in Avo, we can create, we can edit, looks good. Now let's try adding some more functionality. For example, imagine you have a big list of users, big list of organizations, and you want to find a user by the email or organization by the name. So let's try adding search. Now, if you have a look at your resource, it already has an example of adding search. So let's try adding search by the name of an organization. Let's uncomment this. And by default, we have the example with adding search by the ID that equals. This DSL is from the gem ransack. I will rely on the gem ransack to make search work. So I will copy this and I will say comma name contains. And the DSL from ransack is CONT. Okay, so we can search organization by the ID or by the name. Let's refresh. And you see we have a search field that appeared. I will click on the search field. And we have this undefined method ransack for class organization. So I think we need to manually add the gem ransack to our gem file. I will rely again on ransack for search. Adding the gem bundle, restarting the server. Okay, let's try searching. Okay, we have this undefined ransackable attributes. So it is a ransack security feature that we will need to add in the organization model. Here we'll have def self dot ransackable attributes. We're going to search by ID and by name. Yeah, actually we need to add this not in the our resource but in the model. So organization model right here. Adding ransackable attributes by so search by ID or name. Let's now refresh. Okay, we have the organization name here. Let's try searching for something that doesn't match. Nothing found. Super found. It has been highlighted. Okay, looks good. Now in the same manner we can add search to our users. So let me copy this. Go to the user model. I will add search by ID or email. And here in the organization resource, we searched again by ID or name. In user, we're going to search by ID or email. Okay, refresh. Let's see our users. So here we have search, and I try to search. You see, it shows the IDs. So we don't want to just be able to see the list of user IDs. Like I'm searching for hello. I see that this is a user with ID number 1, but I don't see the email, so the ID itself doesn't tell me much. So we want to be able to see the IDs, not only the IDs, but the email here. So the simplest way would be to set self.title of the resource is going to be email. Now I'm going to refresh. And here you see we have the email here. Looks good. So we can search by our users. And also setting the title changes the way the user, the resource looks in the breadcrumbs and the title. So let's comment out the title. You see, now we have the ID here and ID here. So it's a good practice to always, when there is something a defining characteristic on a resource, to have a title. Now we didn't really need to do it on the organization model because it searches for a name attribute by default, but I think it makes sense to manually declare the attribute yourself, to say that you want the organization to be defined by the name attribute. Again, let's try defining the organization by the ID. And you see it shows the ID here instead. So okay, name is definitely better. Okay, we added search for organizations and for users. We don't really need to add it for memberships. Yeah, and talking of titles. So here you see we have the name of the email of the user, but imagine you have two organizations with the same name if you're not validating the uniqueness of the name, and likely you would want to be able to have organizations with the same name if it is not just in the URL. If it's just like in Trello, you can have two boards with the same name. So you would want to have not only the name of the organization, but also maybe something more defining like the ID in the search results. So we can have a programmatically defined title, and I think we have it in the Avo docs. Actually, I usually look a lot into the Avo docs. Yeah, we have this computed title, and here we have an example title, lambda, and something. So let's have a computed title. Let's have not just name, but equals, um, and let's say record. We have record defined here, so we have record.id, comma record name, join slash. So now if we go back to Avo, where was it? I go to search, and you see we have the ID and the name of the organization. So this way, what we're searching for is definitely going to be unique. And let's try open the organization. Again, we see the computed title here and computed title here. Okay, looks good. Let's save our changes. So add search and titles. Okay, now another very important thing is to make it so that only logged in users, only logged in admin users have access to Avo. So first of all, we're going to add the admin attribute to the user model, Rails generate migration, add admin to users, admin boolean. Let's open our migration. And we are going to also say null false and default false. So by default, a user is not admin. RailsDB migrate. Okay, now let's make it so that only a logged in user has access to Avo. So if we go to the Avo docs, let's open device. And here we have this current user method, current user. Let's go to Avo docs. Here we have current user method, current user. I can just uncomment it or paste the one that I took from the device docs. And we are also going to add a logout path. So config sign out path name, destroy user session path is the one that works for device. Okay, now let's see if it works. I will start the server. Going to Avo, now we had our user, and now I refresh, and you see we have hello@superrails.com. So it sees the current user that is signed in. Now from Avo, I can also try signing out. So let me sign out. I sign out here. Now I will sign out. I will just refresh this page. You see, Avo signed me out. So I managed to sign out with the sign out link from Avo. But if I go to /Avo now, you see, I'm not signed in and I still have access to Avo. So what I need to do is going back to the Avo docs. Here I have this authenticated user access Avo. So now if I add this around our Avo root, only a logged in user will have access to Avo. I refresh, you see, I'm redirected from Avo. I need to sign in to access Avo. Let me sign in. Okay, I have access to Avo, but I'm not an admin. So let's make it so that only admins have access to Avo. I will again go to the Avo docs, and here I'm going to say that user has to be an admin. So like this. Now I'm going to refresh my Avo page, and you see again I have no access to Avo. So let's manually make our user an admin through the console, Rails console. User.first.email. Okay, this user dot update admin true. Refreshing. Okay, wonderful. Now only an logged in admin user has access to Avo. And finally, let's change our root to be not /avo but /admin. So I will go to avo.rb, and here the root path is going to be /admin. I refresh /avo nothing, refresh /admin, and here we have our dashboard. Okay, now let's have a look at our users. Here we have two users. Let's also display which user is an admin and make it so that the super admin can change the admin status of other users. So going to resources user, I will add another field admin as a boolean. Refresh. Okay, we have one user that is an admin and one user that is not. Let's make this other user an admin. So just checking the check mark, and you see now both users are admins. Okay, wonderful. Let's save our changes. So only admin has Avo access. Okay, and now let's do some more styling. So here, for example, we have our users and we see all these invitation fields, and they don't serve a lot of value on the index. So let's make the invitation fields visible only if we open the user. Um, so how can we do it? Let's go back to users, and we can add hide on index to a field. Let's refresh now, and you see we don't have this invitation token visible on index anymore. Another thing that we can do is style our show page. So here we are going to have like a main content area, and we're going to have a sidebar, and let's move all these invitation fields to the sidebar. Let's go again to the Avo docs and search for sidebar. And here we have an option to have a main panel and a sidebar. So let's add the main panel to our fields. In the main panel, we will have ID, email, and admin. And within it, we will have the sidebar with all the invitation fields. Okay, and again, I'm not adding all these has many fields, neither to the main panel nor to the sidebar. Let's now go back here and have a look. Okay, so here we have the main fields and here we have the invitation fields. Let's go to the user's index, and you see all the fields that have been moved to the sidebar are not visible on the index. So we don't need this hide on index anymore. Even better. Now we can open again a user, and here we have our memberships, organizations, owned organizations. Let's add all these into tabs. So instead of like having them as an endless list, we are going to have 3 tabs for seeing all the memberships, all the organizations, all the owned organizations. So again, Avo has tabs on show view. We're going to have tabs. We don't really need to set an ID. Tabs do. And now, most importantly, we have organizations, then memberships, then owned organizations. Let's have a look now. I will refresh. And here we have organizations, memberships, and owned organizations. So now the hierarchy of things in our show page of a user looks better. Now, at the moment, we don't see when the user was like created or updated, so the default timestamps. Let's also try adding them. I will add them as another sidebar. So sidebar do. Here we'll have a field created at, field updated at. Let's refresh. And let's not show the seconds, let's show the date in another format. So do something like strf time. Now, Avo has its way of formatting date, time format. And here's the example. So field as time or as date time, and we're going to add the format attribute. And the format is not strf time, it is this Luxan formatting tokens. And here are examples. So let's just show the date as August 6th, and yeah, and let's also show the day of the week. So let's just make it format ddd, refreshing, and you see now the created at is more readable. Let's also show the time as just let t. So after ddd, we'll have t, refresh, and here we have the time. Okay, let's try putting a comma. I wonder if this will work. Yes, it worked. Okay, we can add this kind of date format to all our date time fields. Let's refresh. And all of them are a bit more readable. So wonderful. We improved the styling of the show page of our users and removed all the informational overload from users index. So let's save our changes as style users Avo users show. Okay. And yeah, this is the like basics what I would do when adding Avo to an existing application. So you ensure that only admins have access to Avo. You make sure that all the resources can link among each other, and you add some you add search and you add some basic styling. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.